time on Saturday, it's this Saturday, to come in and have a talk, give a talk, or talk to the room full of architects. I got very excited and say, yes, it's been a long time since I see fellow architects. I've been with development for a long time. And after it sank in, I said, get a little nervous, and I said, what would you guys want to hear, from my side? Because I think, you've seen it all in your practice. And that's why I said, no, give us your point of view. What is it that, client thinks? How is it, relationship? And just be yourself. Thank you for that faith, in me. So here I am today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to talk about what is it that the client thinks, and what is it that we think about when we deal with our consultants. Actually, it's more about pain points, a dialogue with all of you, so you understand to better our relationship. When you understand us, we will then understand you. So it's a two-way relationship. You may disagree, but like I say, this is our point of view. This is our pain points. This is what we feel when we're doing projects. I think it would be helpful as business owners. You should know what kind of things that really goes on in your client's head when they're talking to you. Okay. First one, you are the expert. It means you are the expert. Where we stand, that's why we appoint our consultants. Because you're supposed to help us, guide us, consult us, and help us develop our projects, realize our dream. We may have a lot of things in our head, but we do not know how to get it out. So that's why we have our consultants. Become our partner. Let's realize this project. In saying this, it's also because we more often than you think happen. When we have meetings or discussions, and after the initial appointment is done, sometimes we get junior staff member, junior architects. Not that they're not valuable. They're very, very valuable. They come with fresh ideas, with a lot of things. They're very colorful. But it's the experience that's lacking when dealing, especially when you're presenting to the senior management level, because we're corporate clients. You know how we are. We always have that layers that we need to present the design to talk to. The experience shows that they are junior. Just recently, I had a presentation with the senior level management in ECR. The consultant that comes in, very, speaks very well, in both English and Malay, and was presenting. But however, when we start asking questions, the way the questions is answered and the way the presentation itself starts becoming a bit shaky. They look really nervous, and because when the CEOs and the GMs are asking really point blank questions like, why did you do this? Did you consider this? Did you take into consideration that this is where the site is? Because the site is, in the East Coast, certain areas, you have to consider in terms of the needs of the states. The state, because under certain RMK 11 and RMK 12, there's certain things that they've already prescribed in the state's documents. So those need to be checked properly. And perhaps the person who's presenting thought that was done before, and at the principal level that was already done, and came only to present the ideas and didn't have the backstory of what was the RMK, like the details of it, what it is. So it just fell, and the management just stood up and leave, and that gives a very bad impression. So when the principal came a week later, said the same thing, got asked the same thing, but everything was fine. So these are the things I'm talking about. But the experience is already stuck in our management, head. It's like, maybe we could look at other consultants also, kind of thing. So this is what I'm talking about. If you are the expert, we want you to be the expert. We need you to be the expert, and help us in terms of what we need to do. Because do the homework. If you're gonna send somebody come in to stand in for principal, just let them do the homework. So this is very important. That's our first thing. You are the expert, and we really expect you to be that for us. Yeah. Next one. Brilliant at basic. It may seem simple, What is brilliant at basic? Am I saying that you don't know basic? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, a lot of things happen after the design is, tendered out and all that. And then we get egos. Because, we forgot about that. Because we didn't consider that. Case in point is this one development where we are doing the beachside refurbishment and all that. So there are, just normal things that we do for the community. Pentas kat tepi tu, for them to have for community and all that to showcase the Kibarat lah and things like that. And then surau, toilet. And then we said, toilet ni kenapa banyak ni je dia punya stalls? Cukup ke? Because this is a huge public area, serving people when they have festival and things like that. The existing is that many. I'm like, yeah. You tak kira ke, how many people supposed to come on the average and at peak or whatever and do the necessary. Have to add and have a VO. And for government money to have a VO, it's very, very difficult. We have to go back to Ministry of Finance, to Kementerian Economy, to whatever, and get scolded for, asking for more money. So, this is what we meant when we say brilliant. It may seem very simple to you, brilliant basic. By basic, I tahu lah apa basic kan. Orang tahu, but this is what happens. Like I said, I'm not trying to teach, this is just a reality of it is. And, we also need to improve ourselves on this side, But that's what we mean. The second main point, to know. This is basic things when we propose something, when we design something, check. And then untuk cost. This is one of our biggest pain point as the PMT, as a developer, on time, on budget, on scope. This is what makes or breaks us in our organization. If we don't have that, we can't survive. But like I said, not all, but most often than not, our consultants are not they don't have the same urgency as we have. The design takes, nanti I fikir nak, tambah ni, or wait, we forgot this, maybe we need to add this, and the scope creep and things like that. It is a killer for us. If you don't have the same sense of urgency that we do, to have the things to be on time, on scope and on budget, then, the relationship, that's what starts to sour our relationship with our consultants. This is what starts to upset us very, very much. Because at the end of the day, for us in the organization, we are evaluated. Our KPI and whatever it is based on that. We split the time, we split the budget, we split the cost. The whole team is punished. No increment, no bonus because of delays and scope creep and budget overruns. It is that serious for us. So we would like our consultants to have the same urgency that we have, to help us to get the project on time, on budget, and on scope. Of course, there is like genuine issues sometimes, with the contractor, with whatever, but help us mitigate that. Have that sense of the same urgency and say, Fazyda, by the way, they are not doing, the piling yet at site, they're not finished. If we don't finish by this time, definitely you cannot start your ground beam, you cannot bring it up, and we're already in monsoon season, especially for East Coast. When it's monsoon season, everything stops for 2 to 3 months. That's it. Nothing moves. And you're already delayed. And that should also be considered when you plan for the project. Those basic things. So, this one, the auto boss, for us is very huge. Next main point is stakeholder management. This one, most architects are very good at this. I give you that. You know how to talk to your client. You know how to persuade. But it's the authorities and it's the other providers that is really the problems. We see that some consultants, whenever they had to do submission, whenever they had to do inspection, things does not really fall into places, and sometimes we have to go down and smoothen it out with the authorities. I'm not sure whether it's because, again, the junior staff is doing this. Like I say, they're very, very valuable, the junior staff, the junior architects, because they are the future, right? But they must be coached, and they must have been mentorship program with your experience as an experienced architect, experienced staff, or even the principal itself, the succession planning, the whatever, that must happen also in consultants, and not just for us in organization, because it is very important, but for you, this happens, I notice. It doesn't go as planned sometimes. Case in point, I had a project with local authority, actually here, where the ramp going into the podium parking is at a slant, an entrance going into the podium. It has to be 3.2 meters clearance, 0.4. But because of the slant going in, and because of the podium, it had a little bit of cantilever, so the entrance on this side, the opening on this side is a lot less because of its and as you know, JC is very, very strict on that. So can you imagine how I feel that I have to go and see my CEO and tell him that we have to hack one side of the podium, hack the beam, hack all the rebar and whatever, and do everything. I almost go to a corner and cry and say, oh my God, I'm going to be dead. So what do you do? To call them up, to find out who's going to go in, who's going to be the inspection, because all the consultants are already panicked and nobody wants to be there already. As it happened, is an old colleague who's the Pungara for building. So I said, can you help me? Come down, have a look. It's just a little tiny bit, Actually, the going in and out is no problem, but it's just at a corner where, because it's slanting in, it's less than, the opening is less than 2.2. And he said, Fazyda, that's no problem. It's alright, just put a sticker, little yellow thing on the end. We'll consider it okay. But these are the things that consultants should be doing, and advisors, they should be doing, and saying that that's okay. The end is a little bit, it doesn't have to go in and out from 2 ways. management of the stakeholder of us. So now I feel like, yeah, ini orang ni, I juga kena turun pergi tengok. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that pains us. Next one is goalkeeping. I'm not saying that don't put the wow factor. There are projects that we ask you specifically to do this. But for developer, if the projects are just residential and all that, we have very, very narrow profit margin. Our ROIOC is very small. When architects start designing a lot of things, it eats up in our profit margin, ROI. And when you go to the board, we can't build. I've got more than 5 projects shelved, not approved, because the design was over. You just can't. We just cannot. You know, no edit things, no extra things. You can design. I think some of the most beautiful design I've seen is when there's a lot of what do you call it? Requirements and around it, and you put in a corner. Architects ni kalau dia put in a corner ni dia brilliant tau. Dia selalu design dia wow, macam wow, cantik ni, So it's, I don't know, it's just working under pressure. You all thrive, I think. Architects really do thrive under pressure. Tapi lepas tu marah, kenapa kita pressure? Because you all thrive under pressure. You do so well, you design so beautifully under pressure. But of course, I tak boleh selalu kan, nanti semua orang stress. But like I say, gold plating cannot. Under normal, regular development that we need to do, we need to sell, we need to sustain ourselves so that we also relevant, we also can move, we also make profit, so we can still, have this relationship with you and see you all. We need to be making money. So, it just cannot. Next one is value engineering. Yes, it's a problem because some of the LOE, your LOE is related to the final contract sum, right? Betul?
Yes.
Kan? So bila your LOA is, your percentage fees is to final contract sum, I also understand when the client asks you to do value engineering, because it's up into your fees also. Yeah. And some project, I also understand, it goes beyond years that you thought that you can survive. Daripada 2 tahun, 3 tahun, 4 tahun, 5 tahun. Ada projek yang 9 tahun pun. I think cannot lah, consultants also die standing. Betul tak? You cannot survive. We know that, but we just have to, persuade our board, our whatever to, to understand that our consultants are also suffering. So, but we need to do, because it's the norm now. Because if you look inside the contract, the other one, read your LOA carefully. Sometimes there's a lot of things that sneaked into there from certain organization and developer that you don't notice. For ECR, the consultants are also tasked to do HSC. So if you do not realize that there, you're caught. These are based on what you propose in your own ITP. This is what you write. I look at it and say, apa asal dia propose macam ni?
Oh yeah.
How can I help you? You write there. You just belum sign in blood aja.
The reason why some of us, I don't know, not me, some of us, put in that manner, because when you follow full board scale, takkan dapat ni. Sure takkan dapat ni.
You know why? Because you're not together.
Yes.
Because
Exactly.
you're not one. See? It's not this side, it's that side. Because if you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 write to scale, and there's one fella there didn't, so what do you think? Is that again my side? It isn't it? To be fair to us also,
Okay, fine.
that's why I'm also upset. You
She's
see?
your brother.
Sorry to interject, but I think she's given a very, very strong
Message.
point.
You need to help us to do that, because if we cannot proceed, you also cannot proceed. We are in this together. Doesn't mean that if you are not successful, I become successful. No, you need to be successful for me to be successful. That's the truth. And sometimes, you know, when consultant, they didn't realize that. They're like, oh, client, I need. I cannot be successful if you are not successful. We are in this together. Together. Okay. We have to finish. We have to make profit so that we can have more projects for you in the future. So that we can build more. Because that's the reality at the moment. One of our OBUs cannot have more projects because there are projects that are not that successful, quote unquote. Our inventory is huge. We cannot build more because we cannot get rid of that inventory. So in the end, both of us suffer. We cannot have more. You also cannot come in to have more with us. Right? It's a symbiotic relationship. One cannot be successful without the other. It's as simple as that. Yeah?